There ain't no grave can hold my body down. There ain't no grave can hold my body down.
In this video, we're going to talk about 5 quarterbacks that are bench warmers that I believe have potential to be starting quarterbacks in the NFL. Now, this is my top 5, so do not get upset if you do not agree with the list.
Number 5. Tress McSorely.
A lot of NFL teams passed on Penn State superstar Tress McSorely because of his size and questionable arm strength, which caused him to drop to the 6th round to Baltimore. And we all know the Ravens love to sign mobile quarterbacks like Steve McNair, Troy Smith, Tyrod Taylor, RG3, Dennis Dixon. They try to get Colin Kaepernick, and then they draft Lamar Jackson. And now they have Tress McSorely. And yes, Tress McSorely is a dual-threat quarterback. He ran a 4.5 in the 40-yard dash at the Combine. At Penn State, he ran the ball 473 times. He also broke numerous passing records at Penn State. He was one of my favorite college football players, and I do not want to see his talent go to waste in the NFL. If he can go for a team that can recognize his talents and develop him properly, he can be a great story. The situation that McSorely is in right now reminds me of the situation that Tyrod Taylor was in years ago when he was a backup for the Baltimore Ravens. I remember him being drafted in the late rounds, and he started off as the 3rd string and worked his way to becoming a backup to Joe Flacco. When Tyrod Taylor became a free agent and the Buffalo Bills signed him, he had a chance to compete for the starting quarterback job. So does Tress McSorely follow that same path? I sure cuss hope so, because this kid got a lot of talent. I would actually like to see him at Tampa Bay.
Number 4. Chad Kelly.
I know most people are going to disagree with me putting Chad Kelly on this list because we all know that he has had some off-the-field issues that ruined his career in Denver. But in my opinion, if Chad Kelly can learn from his past mistakes and stay clean for the rest of his career like Michael Vick, then I believe that Chad Kelly deserves an opportunity to start in this league. He has natural arm talent and playmaking ability that should not be left unnoticed. So can Frank Reich cover for Chad Kelly the way he covered for Chad's uncle back in the day? I sure hope so.
Number 3. Nick Mullens.
The quarterback that broke the majority of Brett Favre's records at Southern Miss. Nick Mullens spent his entire rookie year on the practice squad. He was waived by the 49ers in 2018, only to be signed back to the practice squad. After Jimmy G tore his ACL in 2018, Nick Mullens got promoted to the active roster. Throughout that season, Nick Mullens had shown flashes of greatness and some struggles, which is common for most young quarterbacks. 2018 was basically Nick Mullens' interview. And in 2019, Nick was good enough to serve as a backup quarterback behind Jimmy Garoppolo. Now, most of you guys may look at Nick Mullens as a journeyman quarterback, but every single 49er quarterback that has started in a Super Bowl was redshirted. I see Mullens as a good game-managing quarterback on a decent team.
Number 2. Jarrett Stidham.
Jarrett Stidham is on this list for one reason only, and that is Bill Belichick. Despite how most people feel about Belichick, all I can say is that he has made a lot of quarterbacks and coaches rich. I mean, Jacoby Brissett, Jimmy Garoppolo, Matt Castle, Brian Hoyer. Now, some of those guys may have not been the most efficient on other teams, but when they play for Belichick, they look like franchise quarterbacks. Now, it may take a few years before Jarrett Stidham can become a legitimate starting quarterback like how it took Jimmy G, but that does not mean that the New England Patriots are not preparing for the future. The one thing that Patriot fans should feel safe about is the fact that Bill Belichick is patient and he does not care about the outside noise. I think that Jarrett Stidham is in a perfect situation.
Number 1. Teddy Bridgewater.
After taking the Vikings to the playoffs in 2015, Bridgewater's career went downhill after he hurt his knee in practice in 2016. And from there, he has been on a couple of teams like the Jets, now the Saints, where he serves as a backup quarterback behind Drew Brees. Last year, Teddy Bridgewater made a legitimate case on why he still has the talent and leadership to be a starter in this league after he went undefeated as a backup. Yes, you can say the New Orleans Saints are a great team, but last year showed us that Bridgewater can still be a good solid quarterback on a good team. He is 22-12 as a starter. He is very similar to Alex Smith with his game managing qualities. You know, they both have had career-altering knee injuries, but just like Alex Smith found new life in Kansas City, hopefully Teddy Bridgewater can do the same and find life on a different franchise where he can rejuvenate his career.